what's up?
Yeah, I mean, dude, a couple things have been happening this week. But man, like this week was amazing, dude. Man, I just had like such deep encounters with God during this week, and man, I'm blown away actually. There's this Ravenhill quote that like, if you give a man, put him in isolation, right? You give him nothing but bread and water to drink, to eat, right? And then you give him one book, that book being the Bible, right? He'll be filled more with the Holy Spirit than most preachers today. Right? Obviously, there's a level of exaggeration there, and like it doesn't necessarily take one day, right, to like, just like get rid of all your distractions. But man, like over the past couple of weeks, I think 2 weeks now, right, 2 to 3 weeks now, like I've sort of cut away entertainment, and quit my job and just been trying to seek God like for the majority of my day. And man, I just feel so much alive. I just feel so different, Joe. Like, it's crazy how much like I unintentionally, or not unintentionally, but like unknowingly stuff myself with like cheese puffs, right? Of like entertainment, of like the things of this world, right? But then when I just really spit them out and just eat God, right? I guess eat the steak that is God, right? Like just spend time with God, man. Like it's so different. Some like really like some of the joys that I've been feeling recently have been reminiscent of like when I first became Christian. When I first became Christian, and man, like I was so filled with the Holy Spirit. I was so filled with that great joy. But man, like to anyone who's listening, right, and even to you, Joe, like man, I would recommend this so much. Just like take a week off, cut out entertainment, right? It's gonna be hard, of course, right? Just cut it all out and just seek God, and you'll like be, I don't know, it's so refreshing. It's like cleansing, right? It's like people today, right? The secular world sort of talks about like, like getting face masks, like eating avocado, stuff like that, right? To like cleanse themselves. But man, I just feel so different.
Well, can you go over what that means? Because a lot of people that do those things, right? For instance, one thing that the world does, I know that they don't eat for 3 days or like a whole week. Right. They basically fast. And when they fast, it's like a detox for the whole body. Right. Or it's like a water only fast. And I think that they come out with mental clarity. They come out with more energy, right? And there's a lot of these movements that are saying these things, but what do you think is so different about what you experience?
Yeah, I mean, I think, obviously, we're Christian, but I think we were just created to know and love God. And man, like, I mean, this is something I say a lot, but it's basically like we have this infinite void in our hearts that's longing to be filled by something greater than us, something infinite. But it's more often than not, we fill it with finite things. Right? We fill it with finite things that are not even personal at times. Right? And sometimes when we do fill it up with other people, right, it's like we're filling our infinite void that's longing for something with someone who is finite and also equally as broken. Right? But man, I think that hole in our hearts that's longing for love, for identity, for purpose, for hope, for all these different things, we're created for that to be filled by God. But I think for me, and I think for many Christians today as well, even non-Christians, right? Sort of like we fill that void with so many different things, with career ambitions, with trying to be well liked by other people, with sex, with money, with drugs, with all these different things, right? Even man, entertainment. But yeah, when you just take that away, right? So like when you're filling yourself with all these different things, it's sort of like you're stuffing your mouth down with like cheese puffs. Right? That's like the analogy that like I read on this article, right? You're stuffing yourself up with cheese puffs, so you don't have any diet left, right? You have no sort of diet left to eat the real thing, right? Let's say you have a steak dinner at 6 p.m., right? But and then you also have like a giant, like, what is the thing? Like a giant tank of cheese puffs.
Cheese puffs, yeah.
Yeah, like if you just like, like, of course you want to wait until 6 p.m. and eat that giant steak dinner. But then like if you just stuff yourself with the cheese puffs because you're hungry, right? Then when 6 p.m. comes, right, the steak is gonna not taste very great. And I think that's kind of how it is with knowing God. I think we can stuff ourselves with cheese puffs, like entertainment, all these different things. But man, there's just something so different when we put the cheese puffs on the side and say, hey, I just want to know God. And what's different about knowing God is that it's not just a steak at 6 p.m. It's actually we have the opportunity to have steak all the time, right? To know God all the time, right? But so more often than not, we have like a natural bent to fill ourselves up with cheese puffs. So, man, yeah, I think that's really there's I think this sort of general idea sort of also applies to a lot of secular things, right? Like if you stop watching Netflix for a couple days, right? Then when you watch Netflix the next, after your Netflix fast, right? It's gonna be so much better, right? But yeah, that's sort of what's been happening right now, and I just feel so alive, Joe.
This is the first time. Feels like. Is this the first